43% of registered Republican voters in the state would rather have someone else from the party representing them compared to 35% who stand with Mitt Romney, the party's 2012 presidential nominee. You know, I gotta say, Mitt Romney is alright in some ways, but in other ways, some of the things that he said on the campaign trail in 2012 and his stand against Trump makes it deplorable. I talked to JR about this. JR supported Mitt Romney in 2012. We grew to abhor him because of the way he was but you know, oh boy, here's one. Biden blasts Texas abortion restrictions, vows to defend women's rights. Give me a break. What about the rights of the unborn? They don't even know, these liberals, they don't even know the evidence of what abortion does to a woman. The psychological harm, let alone the physical harm. Yeah, I'm speaking the darn truth. Alright? Now, I hope you enjoy listening to the daily news. See, we might as well continue. Round 2. Let's go into the Washington Times a little bit. Can you believe Biden is just being that dumb? Here's one. Pompeo's GOP supporters in New Hampshire as 2024 run. I don't know how I feel about Mike Pompeo. My hope is it is Trump or DeSantis. I don't know Pompeo's policies, particularly toward life. That's the issue that J.R., Jimmy, and I stand on. Here's one. White House announces plan to build 100,000 affordable homes. Well, now I gotta say that's pretty noble from Biden. And that sounds like a good idea, but my concern is, where's he going to get the money for 100,000? We're printing money like crazy. These stimuluses. That tells you. Well, of course, Biden's going to defend this thing with his pull out of Afghanistan. White House administration in touch with Americans who want to stay in Afghanistan. What? Good grief. You know, I'm going to say this. We're setting limits on ourselves. We're setting limits on ourselves giving into this darn reactive culture. Alright? Now, I'm going to give it a little while and I'm going to tell you this. Both sides of the aisle are just skillful. I think the last president we had, I think, stamped out reactivity was Ronald Reagan. George H.W., I think, had some problems with that. He was too milquetoast. Clinton, let's face it, kind of lift your finger. Stick your finger in the air to see where the wind's blowing, and that's your policy. George Bush, I think he tried to avoid reactivity. He had class, but I gotta say his military advisors, and to some extent the tail end of his term, economic advisors, didn't do so well for him. And Obama, please. Obama was the king of reactivity. Trump was a good president if he could not cave so much to the reactive culture. I like Trump. JR and Jimmy, we like Trump. We hope he runs in 2024. But if he don't, let's get a conservative in there with some common sense policies. Cutting taxes. Cut some of that spending that we do, Quit printing so much money. We need the president to put us back on the gold standard. I think even JR sometimes threatens to run. Just kidding, Brent. Well, here's the thing. You probably need to hear something from the New York Post. So, alright. The New York Post. Here's the New York Post. Alright? Here's one, I think. Shooting reported at North Carolina High School. Suspect at large. Don't you know that the dang government gun control are going to be so reactive because of shooting? You want to stop them shootings? Come on. Put back character. Put back prayer in the schools. Let's be real now, please. We don't want to play around no more. We don't want to play around no more. Alright? Now listen to me. And of course, COVID. This is a sad point. COVID is plastered all over the news. Woke New York City Democrat wants to make crime victims help their attackers. What's with this? If the victim finds it in their heart to help them, let them help them. But you ain't gonna stop crime if you kiss up to the criminals. See, that is the Marxist liberal garbage that's coming out of some of these politicians nowadays. That's just deep honesty. I wouldn't be telling you this if I knew that we couldn't do better. And we can. Listen to me, we can. Good grief. It seems like we know more about what's going on with Britney Spears than what we know about what's going on with this country. New York Post is somewhat credible, but we still have a long way to go. A long way to go. National Review. Let's go ahead and let's zip on over to National Review. Here's one. A blatant, corrupt power grab by Rhode Island governor. After it looked like the legislature was finally about to reclaim its authority, Governor Mackey plunged the state back into unilateral rule for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons, this summer, the Rhode Island General Assembly finally did the right thing in restoring a proper balance of powers. But just weeks later, the governor double-crossed lawmakers with an audacious and likely illegal power play. You better believe it's illegal. Nothing likely about it. Nothing likely about it. Okay, listen. Any state in the United States and Constitution, we are to be for representative government, not this despotic nepotism. Somebody's some politicians these days. You hope you enjoy listening to Frontline News with Brent Clark. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of our community. This is Brent Clark saying goodbye here. We're just saying goodbye for the News with Brent Clark here on the EYP Network.